Welcome to the Community Maps program. In this video, we'll show you how to make a contribution using the Contributor app. What you'll see is several tabs: New Contribution, My Contributions, and My Account. So what we're going to do is first go and try a new contribution using this Contribute Data Now button. When I click on it, you'll see a left and right part of the interface. On the left side, we have layers and format, and on the right, we have parameters about what you're providing. So in this scenario, what I'd like to do is provide building footprints and water bodies as services and trees and admin 3 boundaries as a zip file. I don't see trees in my list of layers yet, and I know I do want to provide that. So I'm going to jump over to the My Account tab, and I just happen to know that the tree layer is listed underneath this campus and special area of interest. So I'm going to go ahead and check that. And notice, by the way, these icons. So the question mark pops up information about details, and the little service icon represents that this is available as a service contribution. So when I go back to the screen I was a moment ago, the tree layer is going to be added to my list. Let's start with footprints. I want to provide this in the form of a service with this example. Choose an ArcGIS online service and show you what happens because you're logged in. The system will automatically go out and look at all of your services that are associated with that account. And you'll see with this little globe icon that most of them are publicly shared, and some of them might not be publicly shared. I'm going to go and pick my example of Naperville, Illinois, and building footprints. And here with frequency, you can choose an interval in which we'll go and refetch your data. So you can choose a one-time service contribution or a delivery every 6 months. And in this case, I'm choosing every 6 months. And when I click on the SQL expression, building footprints just happens to be a layer where you have lots of choices on how to symbolize the feature. I'm not going to break it out by airports or education buildings. I'm just going to have all of them cartographically rendered the same way. So I'm going to select the default, and that's going to mean about 4,200 features, and I'm going to click OK. And notice after that, we've got service radio button checked. We have a check over here for building footprints, and if I wanted to, I could stop there and click upload, in which case the summary would tell us that all we're going to be doing is providing this building footprint layer. And if you did have a selection on it, you would notice that in this case, of course, we're providing everything. And we also had some other layers to provide as well. So I'm going to go back and add some more layers. Let's do water bodies as a service. And I want to show you this other example of where I can put in a public facing service URL. If you happen to know your REST endpoint URL, you can paste it in here. And I just pasted one in. I've clicked OK, and it just so happens that service endpoint points to a layer of water bodies. I can choose the same thing every 6 months, and I can go in here and actually use some queries. Let me show you an example of a query. So for lakes, ponds, and reservoirs, if I wanted to, I could reach into the data set and do a selection of type equals lakes or ponds. That gives me the 28 features out of 40. So this just gives you an example what would happen if you had a selection. And then I have a label field. I'm going to pick name and OK. You'll see here that the water bodies are now in my list. And lastly, what I want to show you is what happens when you include a zip file. I don't want this interface to fool you, because even though the zip is listed many times, we're really only talking about one zip file that includes many layers possibly. If you did want to include the administrative 3 boundaries as a zip, you're going to be asked to choose the zip file. But before that, I want to show you that you really should be pre-processing your data with these data prep tools. They're there for a reason. Esri Community Maps team has created them to actually simplify things and get your data into our database faster. So if you actually run these tools ahead of time, it's going to simplify the process and allow us to publish your data generally faster than if you don't prepare the data. So anyway, you can see this Community Maps data prep tools. Here's how you read about it. That's how you download it. You access it from over here if you want. I would want to choose the file, and here I'm picking just my test file, and notice that when I have that zip under admin 3, inside of that zip GDB is a trees layer. So all I have to do is come down and click zip for the tree, and it assumes that the tree layer is also contained inside of that zip GDB. and I'm ready to go. I've assembled all of my layers, and the next step is to click Upload. When I click Upload, I see the upload summary. All this says is that I should review these layers to make sure this is what I am giving to Esri as my contribution. At that point, I'm ready to click Confirm Contribution. This takes a few minutes because we're actually copying over your zip GDB file and we're saving all your service parameters into our system. And once that's done, the menu goes away and you're back at the New Contribution tab where we're thanking you for your recent data submission, and we will be contacting you as we go along through the data processing workflow. So you're done. You've made your contribution.